Hello friends, good morning to all of you. Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay. So today we are having this lecture from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. of CIP. Okay. Due to some reason, I couldn't conduct your lecture from 10 to 11. And that's why Dr. Power sir have adjusted it. So in the last lecture, we have discussed about the tenses in English. Okay, we have just started this topic, and we were discussing about the uh, parts of a sentence. Okay, so and I think one of the part we have just discussed, and we are going to discuss today the next part of sentence. Okay, so let me share the screen. Is it visible? I have shared the screen. Is it visible or not?
Yes, sir.
Visible.
Okay. Yes. So in the last lecture, we were discussing about the tenses in English and why it is important that we have discussed. Okay. So tenses. Okay. So tenses are important to construct a sentence. Okay. To construct a grammatically correct sentence, it is necessary to know the structure of tense. Okay, so there are three tenses. The first is present tense, second is past tense, and the third is future tense. Okay, and these three tenses have their subtypes. Okay, so present, simple present, then continuous present or progressive present. Okay, and and uh, perfect present and continuous perfect present tense. Okay, so these are the four subtypes of tenses. So totally we have to study 12 tenses in this chapter, and we have to discuss the different structures regarding them. Okay, so but before that, we were discussing about the parts of sentence. Okay, so parts of sentence means what? The parts with which we construct a sentence. Okay, so the parts of sentences are subject plus verb plus object plus other part of a sentence, or we we may call it as complementary part. Okay, so these are the parts of a sentence with which we generally construct different types of sentences. Okay, and yes, in this slide we can see that a sentence is made up of certain parts, and there are some parts of sentence which are compulsory and some are not compulsory. Means some of these parts are compulsory to construct a sentence, without which we couldn't form any type of sentence, and some of them are if we omit them, or if we keep them outside, then there won't be any uh, disturbance, or there won't be any uh, 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 there won't be any disturbance to create, okay, to form any type of sentence. Means complementary part we can keep aside if we don't want to construct a sentence with the help of it. So but subject plus verb, okay, we have to form sentence with at least two parts, okay, subject plus verb, or we can construct sentence with verb plus object. But without word, okay, without word it is impossible to form any type of sentence. So each and every sentence must have verb in it for giving or for taking any type of meaning out of that sentence. So is a verb is a compulsory part of sentence. Others can be used or others cannot be used. And we have discussed about the first part, that is subject, in the last lecture. So subject, it comes or it occurs at the very initial position of a sentence. For example, if we are if we want to discuss it, let's take example, I am a police. So in this sentence, I, here I is the subject which occurs or which come before other parts of sentence. At the very initial position the subject comes, and that is why it is called as subject. Okay, so subject of a sentence generally, or uh, we can say that it occurs only at the initial position of a sentence. Let's take example second, Pune is my favorite city. So here Pune, this word is subject, okay, this word is subject. Though it is a noun, it occurs at the very initial position of a sentence, and that is why it is called as subject. So Pune is my favorite city. Here Pune occurs at the initial position of the sentence, and that's why it is called as subject. A subject is a noun or pronoun in its subjective form. So it is the definition of the subject. A subject is a noun or pronoun in its subjective form. So generally what subject comes in a subjective form, and object occurs at the or in a objective form of a subject. Okay, so sometimes other elements such as adverb can occur at the initial position, or it can occur at the beginning. Okay, so let's see the example. When adverb is used at the very initial position, finally I became a police. Okay, so here finally is what this word is called as adverb, because it has ly suffix. We can easily identify finally as adverb, and adverb can occur at any position in a sentence. It can occur at the very beginning of a sentence, it can occur at the middle of a sentence, or it can be used at the end of the sentence also. So here I became a police, finally it is used at the beginning of a sentence. And why it is used? Because adverb has quality, or adverb has property that we can use adverb at any position. So here we have used adverb at the very initial position of a sentence. Let's see the second part of a sentence. The second part of a sentence is verb. Okay, so we have discussed about the subject which came at the initial position. Okay, generally it comes at very initial position of a sentence, and verb is followed by the subject. Okay, so after subject verb comes. Okay, or verb is used after the subject. So let's see what's the meaning of the verb, or what its definition is. Next element after subject is verb. So I have told you that next element that occurs after the subject is called as verb. So a verb includes helping verb and main verb. So verb has two types. Okay, first is helping verb, or it can be main verb. Okay, so there are two types of verb: helping verb and main verb. In helping verb we can say that am, is, are, was, were, should, would, shall, will, may, might, must. Okay, so these are the auxiliary verbs. This comes under the auxiliary verb. Okay, and main verb is nothing but the verb in which comes either independent, or which comes in connection, or which comes in together with the auxiliary verb. Okay, so it is called as main verb. It shows, or it denotes the action which that subject is performing. Okay, so verb is the word which shows action or indicates the action, and it has two types, that is auxiliary verb and main verb. Auxiliary verb also is having different types. Okay, to be form, we have seen it in the ATT lectures. Okay, so auxiliary verb has to be form, then to do form, and to have form. Okay, so these are the three forms that we use auxiliary verb. And main verb is having uh, uh, four forms. Okay, main verb is having four forms, that is simple form, then its past form, then its past participle form or third form, and fourth form is ing form or ing form, ving form. So these are the four forms of a main verb. Okay, sometimes yes. So verb is what? A verb is the action denoting word or action showing word. Okay, without verb we can't construct or form any type of sentence. Let's take example and uh, understand verb and the concept of verb. Okay, so let's see example. He is playing cricket. Okay, he is playing cricket. So in this example, is playing is what? Verb in this sentence. He is the subject of the sentence, is playing is the verb of the sentence, and cricket is what? Object of a sentence. Because if we ask question starting with what playing, then it is answering cricket. Okay, and that's why it is called as object of a sentence. So is playing is called as verb in this sentence, and this is made up of two types. Okay, so is a auxiliary verb, and playing is called as main verb. Okay, so in is playing is called as totally in total is playing is called as verb, but it is made up of is plus playing. So is a auxiliary verb and playing is the main verb. He is playing cricket. And this is the auxiliary verb of type to be form. Okay, so am is are was were, these comes under the to be form. So is playing is the verb. Sometimes adverb can occur between helping verb and main verb. So sometimes what happens, adverb can come between helping verb and main verb also. Okay, so if we use adverb in between helping verb and main verb, how that sentence would be, let's see. Okay, so example, let's see it with example. The example, second example is, he is always playing mobile games. He is always playing mobile game. So here in this sentence, he is the subject of this sentence. Is playing is called as verb of the sentence, and mobile game is called as object. Okay, and always is the adverb which is used in between helping verb and main verb. So we can use adverb at any position in a sentence, and any other word we can't use, but adverb can come at any position in a sentence. So he is always playing mobile games. Is playing is verb and always come in between them. So is called as auxiliary verb and play is called as main verb. But always is the adverb that we used in between helping verb and main verb. Okay, some let's see what they're saying. Sometimes a helping verb can also be used as main verb. So sometimes we can use helping verb as main verb in a sentence. Okay, so how we can use it, let's see. The another example, the sky is blue. The sky is blue. In this sentence, the sky is what? Subject. Is what? Helping verb. And blue is called as complementary part of a sentence. Okay. So why it is complementary part? Because it is adjective. Okay. It is here, it works as an adjective. And if we ask question starting with what, then it won't answer any question. Okay, the sky, what is sky, we can't ask this question, and there is no object in this sentence. So the sky is blue. In this example, the sky is subject, is auxiliary verb, and blue is complementary part. So in this example, there is no main verb in the sentence. Okay, there is only auxiliary verb, and it is is. Is called as auxiliary verb in this sentence, and there is no any other main verb in a sentence, and that's why is or it works as main verb in this sentence. So is here is considered as main verb because there is no any main verb in the sentence, and in that situation we can use auxiliary verb as main verb. Okay. Then see the next example. The second example is I was there. So in this example, can you find any type of main verb? There is no main verb in this sentence. I is the subject of the sentence. Was is the auxiliary verb, and there is what? Complementary part. Okay. So here was is the auxiliary verb in the sentence, and it works as main verb in this sentence. And why it is so? It is because we don't have main verb in this sentence, and that's why auxiliary verb works as main verb in this sentence. So auxiliary verb has the ability to work as main verb in the sentence also. Okay, so main verb has ability to work as main verb in a sentence, but if there won't be any type of main verb in the sentence, then its fulfillment is done with the auxiliary verb. Okay, so auxiliary verb can be used as a main verb in a sentence if there won't be any type of main verb in a sentence. Okay, so this is about the verb of a sentence. Then the third part of a sentence is it is object. Okay, so the third part of a sentence is object. So let's see its definition and let's see the information of object. Okay, so the third part of a sentence is object. So what is its definition? An object includes a noun phrase, or pronoun in its objective form. Okay, so what is object? An object is, or it includes, a noun phrase, or it may be pronoun in its objective form. Let's see it with example. Okay, so the example in this sentence, uh, the example is she called her. She called her. So in this example, the subject is she, called is verb, and her is object. Okay, her is object. Why it is object? If we ask question to the verb, what called, काय बोलवलं, or whom called, okay, then it is answering her. Okay, whom called, her. Then if that uh, answer, okay, if that verb is answering the object of a sentence, then it is called as object. Okay, if we ask question to the verb, then if it is answering the question, then it is called as object. And if we don't get any type of answer, then it is what? Complementary part. Okay, so she called her. She is the subject, called is the verb, and her is the object. Okay, So if we if we observe this form, okay, her is what? Object, and it is also called as objective form of the subject, and that subject is she. So if she is the subject, then its objective form is her. Okay. If we want to do passive of that sentence, then we use the objective form, and she has the objective form her. Okay. She called her. Okay. So here her is the objective form of pronoun she. Okay. So she is the subjective form and its objective form is her. Okay. So she called her. Here her works as object, and it is the objective form of she. Then see the next example. They informed the police. They informed the police. So here they is the subject, informed is the verb. It is also called as main verb. Okay, inform is the verb, and its third form or second form is informed. Ed suffix is added to the word. Okay, so they is the subject, informed is the verb, and the police is the object. Why it is object? Because if we ask question with the WH word, whom, they inform the police. Okay, whom they inform? The police. Okay, so the police here works as the object of a sentence. Okay, so that's why. And also this is also called as noun phrase. Why it is noun phrase? Because here the is the article. Okay, the is called as article, and police is what? It is known as noun. Okay, police is the noun of a sentence, and when we use this in combination, the police, then it becomes the noun phrase. Okay, so police is the noun, and it is also called as the prominent noun. Okay, so the is article, that's why it is not that much important part, but police is the noun, and that's why from this police, this is known as the noun phrase. Okay, because it has noun in the uh, uh, after the position of article. Okay, the police. So they informed the police. Here the police is the object. Let's see. Transitive verb take object, and intransitive verb does not take any object. So we have discussed it in the ATT lectures. Okay, so during the ATT lectures, I have taught you the first topic of this grammar. Okay, CIP, that is parts of speech, and we can see that uh, uh, there are two types of verb. Okay, so transitive verb and intransitive verb. So in the transitive verb, the object is followed by the verb, or there comes object after the verb. But in intransitive verb, there does not find, okay, the verb does not followed with the object. Okay, that is why it is called as intransitive. Okay, so mhm. So transitive verb take object and intransitive verb does not take any object. Let's discuss it with example. Let's see the first example. Example 1. I walk. Okay. I walk. So in this sentence, can you find any type of object is there? No. I walk. There are only two words. I is the subject and walk is the verb. Okay. So I walk. In this example, there is no object which is followed by the verb. And that's why here walk is the verb and it is called as intransitive verb. Okay. Intransitive means what? Akarmak, having no object. Okay. So intransitive does not take any object, but transitive verb take object. Okay, let's see it with the next example. The second example is he studies English. See this example, he studies English. So here in this example, he is the subject, studies is called as verb. Okay, studies is called as verb, and English, here English comes as an object. Okay, he studies English. If we ask question to the verb what studies, then it answers English. What studies? English. Okay, that's why he is the subject, studies is the verb, and English is the object of the sentence. So in this way, object, we have discussed about the object also. So verb, object, and let's see the last part of a sentence, that is complement. Fourth part of a sentence is complement. A complement is an additional information part. So it is the part which gives, okay, it is the part which gives an additional information in the sentence about that action or uh, about the subject. Okay, so that's why it is not that much important part. It is used or it is added at the very last of a sentence, and that is why it is called as complement or complementary part. Generally, a complement is an adverb. So generally or maximum time, we can find that complement itself is called as adverb. Okay, so adverb, when it comes at the last or at the end of the sentence, then it is also or it is called as complement. Okay, okay, so let's see the examples of complement and adverbs. Okay, so complement is nothing but it is the additional information part, or it gives the more information about the subject or that action which is taking place in that sentence. Okay, so complement is an additional information part, and generally the complement is an adverb. Okay, generally what complement is always we can say that it is adverb. It can be a single word, a phrase or a clause. So it may be a single word like sometimes, okay, or initially, okay. So these are the words when it comes alone in a sentence, okay. Then a phrase, it may be a phrase, okay. So instead of, or to the school, uh, with the help of. So these are also called as phrase, okay. Because there are more than two words, and that's why it is called as phrase. And that phrase is also called as adverb phrase, okay, or a clause, or a complement may be a clause, okay. Clause means what? It is the smaller unit of sentence, but it is larger than phrase, okay. So there are two clauses, main clause and subordinate clause. The main clause is what? Independent clause, and we have discussed it. And subordinate clause is what? It is dependent clause. It depends on main clause, okay. So clauses can also used as a complement in a sentence. Let's see what are the adverbs we use as a complement in a sentence. Let's see it with example. First example is, sometimes I work late night. Sometimes I work late night. So here in this example, sometimes is what? It is adverb, okay. Sometimes is adverb, and which came at the beginning of the sentence. I work late night. So I is the subject, work is the object, and late night is what? Complementary part. But sometimes is here adverb, and which comes at the beginning of the sentence. Then see the next example. I work late sometimes. So sometimes in the first example, we have used at the beginning of a sentence. In the second example, it is used at the end of the sentence. I work late sometimes. So I is the subject, work is the verb, late is the complement, and sometimes here is also complement, but it comes after the first complement, that is late, okay. So sometimes is the adverb which works as complementary part in a sentence. It may come at the beginning of the sentence, or it may come at the end of the sentence. So this is the difference between adverb and verb, okay. So see the third example. Let's see. They are generally reading ready-made notes, okay. They are generally reading ready-made notes. So here they subject reading are reading what is the verb, and generally is the adverb which is used in between uh, auxiliary verb and main verb. So generally here is the adverb, and they are reading ready-made notes. So ready-made notes is called as object, okay. Why it is object? Because if we ask question to the verb, then it is answering that object, and that's why it is called as object. Okay, they are generally reading ready-made notes. So what are generally reading? If we ask question, what are reading, then it is answering ready-made notes. Okay, so that's why it is object. They are, and here generally is used in between auxiliary verb and main verb. Okay, so are is the auxiliary verb, reading is the main verb, and generally is the adverb which is used in between them. Okay, so keep in mind, adverb is the word which we can use at any position in a sentence, but we should know some adverbs for the speaking purpose. Okay, let's see the uh, next example. He goes to the school. He goes to the school. Here he is the subject, goes is the verb, to the school. Okay, to the school. To the school is what? Complementary part of a sentence. Okay, because to the school, yes, to the school is called as phrase. Okay, and it is called as adverb phrase, to the school. Okay, the school, no, it is not the adverb phrase, it is the noun phrase. Okay, because here to the school, here to is what? The I think it is it is the preposition, the is the article, and school is the noun. So school is the noun, and it is the important part of this phrase. Okay, it is the dominant part of this phrase, and that is why to the school is called as noun phrase. Okay, he goes to the school. So here to the school is called as complement. Then see the next example. She works with her brother. She works with her brother. So here she is the subject. Okay, she is the subject in this sentence. Works is the object of the sentence. No, works is the verb of the sentence, and with her brother is called as complementary part or complement of the sentence. She subject, works verb, with her brother. Here with, okay, with her brother is called as phrase. Okay, with her brother is the noun phrase, because her is the uh, pronoun. Okay, her is the pronoun in this sentence, with is the preposition of the sentence, and brother is noun, and brother is the main word in this sentence, and that's why it is called as noun phrase. But as uh, there is a word with in this sentence, it is called as complement of the sentence, because what works, if we ask question to the uh, verb, then it is not answering with her brother. Okay, what works, it is not answer, it does not answer with her brother. Whom work, if he, it is also not answering with her brother. Okay, and that's why with her brother is the complement in this sentence. Then see the last example of this sentence, uh, complement. He cuts the wood with an axe. He cuts the wood with an axe. So here he is the subject of the sentence, cuts is the verb in this sentence. What cuts? The wood. Okay, what cuts? If you ask question, then it answers the wood. What cuts? The wood. So The wood is the object of this sentence, and thereafter with an axe. कशानं? तर with an axe, कुऱ्हाडीनं तो झाड तोडतोय. Okay, he cuts the wood with an axe. So with an axe is called as complement in this sentence. So this is the fourth part of speech that we have discussed today. So let's see one of the exercise, and we will stop after this exercise. Uh, let's see, identify the parts of sentence in the following sentence. So there are some sentences and we have to identify the different parts of this sentence. So first example, see the first example. She gave me the book. So identify the parts in this sentence. She. Okay, if we divide this sentence, then she is the subject of the sentence. Gave is the verb of the sentence. And if we ask question what gave, then it is answering the book. Okay, what gave? The book. And whom gave? It is answering me. Okay, so these are the two objects in this sentence. We have used here two objects. She gave me the book. So me is the object. What gave? If you ask question to the verb what gave, then it is answering the book. So it is called as direct object, because when we ask question to the verb, and that answer which comes when we ask question with what to the verb, then the answer which is coming uh, to that question is called as the direct object. And when we ask question starting with whom to the verb and answer uh, or if you ask question with the whom to the verb, then it is answering the indirect object. Okay, so whom gave, kunala दिलं, तर मला, me. Okay, so here she gave me the book. Here she is the subject, gave is the verb, me is the indirect object, and book is the direct object. We study English. So here we is the subject, study is the verb, and English is the object. They are playing football. They is the subject, are playing is the verb, and what are playing? Football. So football is the object of the sentence. Online lectures are good. So online lectures is the subject, are is the verb, and good is called as complement. Okay, good is called as complement of the sentence. Ram is watching TV. So Ram is the subject, is watching is verb, and TV is the object. Mobile is ringing. So here in this example, there is only subject and verb in this sentence. Okay, is auxiliary verb, ringing is the main verb, ring is the main verb. So mobile is the subject and is ringing is the verb. So this sentence is made up of only two parts, that is subject plus verb. Then cat ate a rat. Cat ate a rat. So cat is the subject, ate is the verb. What ate? It ate rat. So a rat is the object. And 8 example is I normally wake up at 6 a.m. So I is subject in this sentence. Normally is called as adverb of the sentence. Okay. Wake up is the verb of the sentence, and at the 6 a.m. at 6 a.m. is called as adverb phrase, or it is called as complement of the sentence. So in this way, we have discussed about the 4 parts of speech in today's lecture, that is subject plus verb plus object plus complement. So these are the 4 parts that are necessary to construct or to form a sentence. So from the next lecture, we will start with the actual tenses in the sentence. So before ending the lecture, let me first mark your roll number, mark your presentee, and after that you can leave this meeting. Okay, so for this lecture, roll number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 28, 29, 30, 31, 33, 36, 38, 40, 41, 42, 44. So these are the present roll numbers. Roll number that are absent roll numbers are 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 32, 27, 32, 34, 35, 37, and 43. These are the absent roll numbers for today's lecture. If anybody of these absent roll numbers are present, then they can give me the presentee. कोणी आहे का? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 27, 32, 34, 37, 43 हे absent roll number आहेत. यांच्यापैकी कोणी आहे का प्रेझेंट? बरं, अजून एक मला एक विचारायचंय. नाईकुडे नागेंद्र कुमार कोण आहेत? नाईकुडे नागेंद्र कुमार.
येस सर.
हा, तुमचा रोल नंबर काय आहे?
सर रोल नंबर नाही भेटला आम्हाला अजून.
अजून भेटला नाही का? तुम्ही डायरेक्ट डिप्लोमा ऍडमिशन आहेत का?
हा डायरेक्ट
ओके.
डिप्लोमा DSY.
बरं 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 बरं, ठीक आहे ठीक आहे. तुमचं नाव लिहून घेतो फक्त मी.
हो ओके सर थँक्यू.
Okay, thank you. So here we have ended this lecture. Okay, so you can leave this meeting and you can take a break now. Okay. आपण थांबतो इथं. लेक्चर आपलं संपलेलं आहे. Thank you for joining this lecture, joining this meeting. We will start the tenses, actual tenses in English from the next lecture. Okay. So thank you for joining this lecture. We will see in the next lecture.